The series showcases Amanda Waller and General Flagg watching a news of how the rogue Amazonian and reputed sorceress, Circe, crossed together with the sons of Themyscira into the all-female island, as Circe claimed to be the rightful heir to the throne of Themyscira in Pokalistan. Pokalistan happened to be a friend of the US, and as Circe's actions wasn't best for business, Amanda Waller sought to find a solution. The task force had banned her from forming a suicide squad out of human captives, but she had other plans as she introduced General Flagg to the bride, Dr. Phosphorus, who possessed a high amount of radiation, the Weasel, GI robot, responsible for the death of 300 Nazis in World War II, and Nina Mazursky. Amanda opened the facility as the monsters charged towards them, but she was able to neutralize them with a device connected to a chip embedded in them. Amanda appointed General Flagg as the leader of the newfound group, which she calls CREATURE Commandos. Their first mission as a group was to assist the Princess Rostovik in the fight against Circe and her forces as they were on their way to Pokalistan to join with the princess. Arriving at Pokalistan, they were greeted by Alexei and the rest of the soldiers as they were led to the palace. In the palace, they met with the princess, and as General Flagg exchanged courtesy with her, Alexei, the head of the soldiers, threatened to kill them as the soldiers surrounded them. Well, it turns out the general was just messing around and playing pranks with them, welcoming them in the most spectacular way. The princess hosted a feast for them and introduced the general to her mother, the queen, who happened to be incapacitated. That's why the princess is handling all the affairs of the nation. They were all hanging out outside as General Flagg and the princess began conversing about her nation and how they can make it better. They still seemed to be conversing as the princess fell for the general, as she lured him into the bedroom and tried making love with him, but he politely rejects the offer and instructed GI Robot to guard the princess for the night. That night, Nina spotted the bride trying to leave the palace and tried convincing her to stay as the consequences of leaving might be fatal, but as the bride wouldn't listen, Nina had no choice but to escort the bride out of the palace as they boarded a taxi and drove off. General Flagg happened to be asleep when Dr. Phosphorus sneaked into his room in search of the device and was quickly spotted by General Flagg as they engaged in a wild confrontation to gain possession of the device. It was a mess, but at the end the general was able to take out Dr. Phosphorus, gaining possession of the device. General Flagg decides to spare his life, but warns him that Amanda Waller had a device of her own, and he wouldn't be able to make it. So, he had no choice but to cooperate with them. The taxi dropped them off as the bride led Nina into an abandoned home as they made their way in. A woman happened to be watching them from afar as she picked up her phone and contacted a strange creature who was delighted on hearing his bride has returned. The strange creature happened to be Eric, as the scene tells the story of how Eric was created, and as he sought for love, the priest created his bride from various corpses acquired from the mortician. So, it turns out the home the bride broke into was her birthplace, as she told Nina of her birth story of how the priest fashioned different corpses together and created her and explained how horrible it was. Some sons of Themyscira spotted the girls as they informed the princess Circe, who decides to hunt them down. The bride happened to be looking for a tourmaline necklace, and as she searched around for it, she thought of how the priest taught her how to speak and handed the tourmaline necklace as a gift to her. The girls were about leaving when they got attacked. Alexei informed General Flagg about the escaped girls as they reached the vehicle and began tracking them using the chip embedded in their bodies. Circe, along with her troops, unleashed a series of attacks on them, during which Nina was injured in the altercation, forcing the bride to carry her to safety while fighting off the troops along the way. The bride faced Circe one-on-one as Circe punched her fiercely, triggering memories of how she fell for the priest and made love to him, breaking Eric's heart. Circe was on the verge of defeating her when she struck Circe's leg and the tables turned, but it didn't last long as Circe was a powerful sorcerer as she transformed the bride's hand to a floating balloon, rendering her powerless. The bride was at her mercy as Circe pushed her off the building while Nina was shot by her troops. The bride was on the verge of death when memories triggered of how Eric, feeling betrayed, killed the priest to have her all to himself. Horrified, she charged at Eric with rage, sending him into the burning flames. Stay tuned for more episodes of Creature Commandos, as they will be posted as soon as they are released. Use the super thanks icon to support our channel. Thanks for watching.